All right, all right. So I'm assuming other people will join in as the time goes on. But we're broadcasting live here on my YouTube channel, and the whole point is to get some kind of feedback as far as how the show went. So I saw your comment, so obviously you've seen the show. Do you have any suggestions, any feedback?
Oh, I just lost your audio.
There you go. There you go. I got you. I hear you now. Say it again. What's going on here?
All right, I keep. I know I can see you fine.
There you go. So what's happening is, as soon as a microphone is being picked up, the camera's shooting over to him. So whenever you see your face, that's your time to talk. That's what's happening. Yeah, there it is. So give me some feedback. What did you think of the show? Anything. What you got?
It was you know, I've been watching the evolution over time, so seem to be getting stuff down.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think it'll be interesting for him to see what people are going to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said in the last show that I did on last Wednesday, whenever when I look at my just the metrics of the shows that I'm doing, I get more people that'll tune in to me if the show got a thumbnail of somebody with some boobs, or I'm talking about big boobs, or the quota is being met, then people will engage, and that's the whole point of me doing a show, is because I want to create a dialogue. I don't just want to say stuff and then that's it. I want to hear what you got to say, So, like for example, yours and one other person commented on what I said in this last show, and it was a nice lengthy comment. So I'm hoping that can engage dialogue. I'm trying to say, especially when it comes down to men, man. Because here's the thing: when I developed Inqronicles a long time ago, you remember in June was considered Men's Month, and
right.
the whole reason I did that is because it's Father's Day, and we don't get props. Like, we don't get props. No. Like, you know what I mean? We just don't get props, and I don't appreciate that, because it makes it. If I think more fathers would be around and would stick around, besides the fact that they didn't have their father, they would stick around more if fathers were celebrated more. You know what I mean?
Stop kind.
Like, so if I can get people to just get in, like, I just want to get men in and just get them to think, and just think of what being a man is, because a lot of us are not the traditional, like, a lot of us are not like our grandfathers. You know
right.
What I mean? We
chopping wood in the backyard.
Right. Growing a garden, making everybody do stuff, carrying on traditions. Because you know what, man? And for those of you who are, that'll be seeing this is my cousin. So we're talking about our grandfather. But he used to have traditions that as kids we weren't with, so to speak. But then once he was gone, a lot of things crumbled. Would you agree?
Right.
What's that? Is that okay? Cause see, okay, I was gonna say, because all I see is this, and them two boys look the same now. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, Skylar?
Tyler.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Correct it, brother. How you doing? How you doing, Kyler? How you doing?
Good.
All right, it's good to hear. Boy, you sound mature as I don't know what, man. Oh my God. Yeah, man. Y'all brothers are some big
mature,
brothers.
but not mature.
You do well.
Well, I'll say this: the last time I heard your voice, you were mad because you had to go to bed at like midnight because you were playing a video game. Now, let me say this real quick, too. Tyler, if you still listening, Your dad was like that too. I don't know about him crying and all that stuff, but your dad was down with video games just as bad as you were. Actually, me and your dad were down with video games.
Right.
Yeah. Let me
My
not.
brother. Don't forget my brother.
Yeah. Well, I know your brother's heavy into the games, or did he stop now that he's Kung Fu Joey? I mean, do he still chase down
I was
games, or
taking on
he's
the big guys yesterday, man. You missed it.
what happened?
Said Kyler took on the big guy yesterday.
Really?
Took on a guy about Cameron's size, right?
Actually, a little smaller.
A little smaller. Yeah, well, Cameron. There's not many people as big as Cameron.
Well, I mean,
I'm
y'all some.
just a foot taller than him.
You got
Well, now,
time.
so y'all are now. First, let me be clear. Are y'all taking karate? Are you taking a form like a martial art like taekwondo? What are you taking?
We're taking karate.
It's karate, but it's Korean. Tung Sudo. So it's Korean style.
Okay. All right. So, because I meant to.
Hold on, Kai, because you're gonna make me forget what I was gonna say.
Yeah. What you got?
No, because I was thinking about your comment about the Father's Day thing. Because I was just talking about it the other day. It's the epidemic of we did it on our own. We didn't need no man, and then we're gonna celebrate it because we're both roles. I was like, you got your day.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the kind of stuff that needs to be said, man. Like, okay, I have to wait to do this, but I have a friend of mine who just got custody of his kids, his 2 kids, and he said at first when he was involved in the whole court case, he was going to give up on the case because he just figured the woman was going to win it. But then he was like, I love my kids too much, so he, did due diligence, found out the stuff that she was going to try to present in court, had things to prove otherwise, and kind of put her in a position where she looked like an unfit mother. Now, I think unfit mother is kind of oxymoronic in a stereotypical sense, but there are some unfit mothers out there. You know what I mean? But even they celebrate Mother's Day and get celebrated.
Right.
And I get frustrated with that, man. I think there would be more men. There would be more men present in a lot of things, and there would be a lot more men who would step up to things if men were celebrated a little bit more than just the stereotypical "it's a man's world" type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, because I think it's just the expectation. When we do something, it's just the expectation. So you don't get celebrated because you're expected to do it. It's like, it's like, what do you want, a biscuit? That's always the
Right.
That's always the comment, It's like, but
Yeah, man. That's nonsense. I mean, if you look at how it is nowadays, man. I've said this in shows in the past that women have the jobs now. You know what I mean? Now I don't know if that's just an older thing, as far as my age group or what, but women have the jobs now. So you're seeing more women that are breadwinners. You're seeing more dudes that are stay-at-home dads. Okay. So since I'm saying that, does that now mean that Father's Day will be celebrated more because now you're seeing dads with kids on their back and kids in the front, and you're seeing dads with the fake nipples and all that stuff? Will we now be celebrated because we had to get to that level? You know what I mean? It's just nonsense, man. So the whole point of this show is to put the red meat back in our diets. Get brothers to drink beers like they supposed to. Yeah, what I mean, I've even considered every time I do this show until some merch comes out, like until I come up with a design or something. I've even considered every time I do a show, I'm gonna do it in a wife beater. Why not? But I'm gonna do it in a wife beater because that's that stereotypical man.
Mm-hmm.
At least nowadays, like you didn't see wife beaters.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm trying, but I
I try and I got like maybe three or four white beaters. I try to make sure them are crisp and clean each week. Oh man!
Where you go, my room? I got black ones because you know it takes away from the gut, so it's like you can still look impressive.
See, that's the kind of stuff that needs to be talked about, man. That's the kind of stuff that needs to be. No, and now here's something else that my man had brought up the other day, which kind of has some truth to it. In preparing for this show, I grew this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this thing here, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like this, but when you see, like nowadays, it seems like people, especially like when Movember being popular and all that, No Shave November and all that stuff being popular, you know, now you're seeing people say, grow a beard, you know, a real man does it. It's like, yo, this is some bullshit, though. Excuse my French, but I went through like 2 weeks of just straight. You wouldn't even see me on the show. I'd be talking, I'd be like, you know what I mean? Just for the sake of having this. That.
Right. Now I haven't moved past the goatee. Like I had one of those little pencil beards, but when it started going gray, I was like, okay, we're just gonna stick with you.
That's exactly why I tried to keep mine off, man, because all this gray. You know, I have somebody told me the other day, I look like a 25. Well, somebody told me this before the beard. I look like I'm 25, you know, because of the fact that I work out and I look like this now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this beard instantly puts 20 years on a brother, man. You know what I'm saying? It just instantly. I could be sitting up here just yoked up like as a matter of fact, God bless the dead, Kimbo Slice. I didn't know Kimbo Slice was my age, but then at the same time, when he took his hat off, or he had his hat off, he had that huge ass. Oh man, he had that huge old bald spot, man. And you know, our brothers hate the fact that we got hair on top of our heads.
I know.
So, you know, that's why I got my stuff wild woolly like this now, because I'm gonna do this until I get to where they're at. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this. Somebody told me I should get back down to the waves and all that, and I probably will, but for now, as long as my hair is going to grow, I'm going
nice and full.
You see what I'm saying? As long as it's gonna grow, I'm going to let it grow. Period. You know. But as far as
but at least it's grown in even, because you used to have that triangle. I don't know if you remember that. It was one side. It was like a triangle because it was being young. You know, don't grow in right. I find the same thing with Cameron now, because I have to trim his up because his is just growing wild.
Really, Cameron is growing hair on his face?
Oh man, you got a full beard.
How old is Cameron?
16.
Okay, that makes sense. Man, man, dag. Yo, I don't know why. I didn't think he was that old, but I didn't think he was a little boy either.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we were at the doctor's office, and the doctor came out and asked him permission for a test, thinking he was me.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I thought, man, I love my daughters, man. I love my daughters, and I think every man deserves. See how I said that? Deserves a daughter, okay? But I was actually thinking about, like, once I get in, like, maybe 50s, I might adopt a son, man, because I need a son. And I think that too plays a big part, because there's a lot more, unless it's just I haven't done enough research. It seems like there are more girls being born than there are guys too. Have you noticed that, or is that just something I'm I'm not getting out the house enough.
I don't know. See, I don't know what the stats are, but it is a little heavier stat.
Yeah, right.
Towards
Right. Like it's not the stereotypical man's world anymore. And I'm not fighting it. You know, having daughters, I'm not
right.
gonna be.
Just to give you an idea, like in my apartment, I think it's a 70-30 split. So like the students, it's like 70% women, 30% men.
Wow, man. Wow.
That's in my department. Right?
Oh, wow. See, I mean, nothing against it. Nothing against any. I mean, we had our run. We had our run. You know, nothing against it, but I just I don't know. I just don't like where things are going, man. And I don't like, I shouldn't say that. Let me reword that. I don't like where manhood is going right now, you know, because it's just non-existent. It's actually being redefined where like kids that are in like Cameron and Kyler, not Kyler so much, Cameron to between, you know, Katana, between their ages.
Right.
Their definition of manhood is pimping, playing, smacking women, yelling at them. You know what I'm saying? And that's not how it is. Like, I've had good relationships that started off good when I took care of everything. Like, before I got married, the woman I was married to, when we first got together, it was just that way. She stayed at home. She didn't work. You know, she was collecting state at the time. I was trying to get her off that. And because I was trying to get her off that, I had like three jobs. You know what I mean? And I didn't mind doing that because I came home to a good meal. I came home to my daughters. I had a good time. The outside of my house did not matter to me. It wasn't like I didn't mind having friends, but if I didn't see my friends, I was cool. You know?
Right.
But now there's such a strong influence to be in the club, to be out cheating on your girl, to be watching your girl because somebody's trying to cheat, you know, with your girl. You know, there's such a strong influence on that. And there's not too many vehicles or platforms that are out there that are telling people the man is the head of the household. You know, it's almost chauvinistic to say that, but as I get older and as men get older, they start to realize that that is how it should be. Now, it's not to say that the woman has to stay in the kitchen. It's not to say that the woman can't do anything. It's just to say that, you know, when it comes down to who is running the household, it really can't be shared. You could try it, and I know there are some people that are successful with it, but let's put it this way.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's kind of division of labor because I know, you know, both of us, me and Ty, you know, we both hustle and work like hard, and we both try to be very active.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's things that she'd rather me take care of, you know,
Right.
and particularly having boys, you know, it's like there's something she's like, you know, I just can't teach that, you know, that's got to be you. And so I think we come to an agreement about where those things.
Well, see, and that's good. So y'all do have a dialogue. You do or have had a dialogue when it comes down to that.
Right.
Okay. I think that, you know, in the position some of the relationships I had, that's where it was. Like the woman that I was with, at least in about 3 or 4 cases, the woman that I was with, everything was cool when I was running the show. You know what I mean? But then in like maybe 3/4 of that, there'd be times where I would be making a decision and then they would jump into the decision. So then, okay, prime example, this might be small, but it really isn't small. Hey, what's for dinner? I don't know. What you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? And then I say, well, let's have Burger King. Nah, I don't want Burger King. It's like, really? I mean, either have input or don't have input. But if I'm saying that this is how it's going to be, then that should be it, especially if you don't have anything better. you know.
Right.
But it's almost like like the women who would do that would gauge what my answer would be to put in some agenda that they had, but as opposed to just coming out and saying what it is, they were trying to steer me in it, so it still felt like it was my idea, you know.
Right.
That's not how. I'm sorry. That's just not how shit's supposed to go. It's just not how
Right.
it's supposed to go, you know. And I'm sure I catch some flack for that.
Be in that kind of situation where it's always like who's gaming who, you know. You gotta be in a situation where
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I cut you off. Say that again.
No, I said, you know, you don't want to be one of those in that kind of relation where you're trying to figure out who's gaming who all the time. It's like you need to be able to feel comfortable that, you know, if you ask an opinion, you give it, that is going to be taken at that value and not, you know.
You know, and unfortunately, and I can admit to this, unfortunately, I've been in those situations, you know, where it's like every freaking day I wake up, I got to figure out what kind of game this person's on today. You know what I mean? Like, and like literally play the whole day out. It's 7 a.m. and I'm playing the whole day out. Yeah, it's like waking up and planning my chess moves for the day. You know, that's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But that comes from lack of communication. That comes from two people trying to run down the same path with two different agendas.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, you know what? That's a topic I'm gonna cover, man. That's a topic I gotta cover. Is should the man be the head of the household?
Well, I think it's linked to what you asked today. I mean, I think that, you know, I think part of it, and I kind of joking, was like, nah, never. But I think there's times when you have to step back. Like, you know, if you have no clue what you're doing, or you don't know what the answer is, you know, being a man at that point and saying, I don't know what's going on, and
right.
You know, not people hurt or killed or you know, it's just the silly stuff we always get blamed for. Like, we always get you lost. It's like, I'll about to guess in a second now. It's like, and there's no shame in that. Actually, it came about that because of, you know, being a teacher. You know, that's when it gets people in trouble. Like they feel they're too proud to ask a question.
And feel they know the answer.
Right. Either they know the answer or they don't know, but they won't ask because then they feel it makes them weak, and then they end up failing. I was like, all you have to do is ask. It's like I say it every class. Ask the question. You know, it's like, you know, we take time out. It's like, does anyone have any questions? Nobody says anything, and then like, you know, 2 a.m, I get an email. I really didn't understand it. It's like, why didn't you ask that?
That's real stuff right there, man. That's some real stuff. And you know what? That really, I do see that coinciding with what I was talking about today because, you know, the traditional man, the stereotypical traditional man, made all the decisions. Hey, this is where we're going. This is where our vacation is. This is where we're going out to eat. You know, and then in the things like, you know, I'll say this. My first marriage prior to me being married to her, one of the things that we had in our first years that was good was there was an unspoken understanding. You run the house, I run the outside. Now, it doesn't mean that when we go out, I gotta make all the decisions, but I'm gonna make at least 80, 70% of the decisions. If I don't understand something, then I'm not gonna speak on it just being a man. I'm just gonna realize that's not my lane. So since that is your lane, time for me to fall back. So that's where it was cool in the beginning. Like I said, she'd be at home, she'd be cooking, she'd be cleaning, she'd be doing the stereotypical stuff, watching daytime TV and all that stuff. But she was there for the kids. She made sure they went to bed. She made sure that they got their hair done and all that stuff. Meanwhile, I was going to work, come home, go to the next job, come home, go to the next job, and repeat, you know. And when I had my days off, then I would take them all out, and nobody had to worry about could they eat this off the menu. Nobody was guided to, you know what I mean? It wasn't, no, look, you're going to eat off this section of the menu because that's all I got. Or, yo, I know I ain't the only one's going to be paying. I know I ain't the only one who's gonna pay on this bill. You know, wasn't
Everybody ate, right?
like D.L. Hughley said when his father took the family out. They took the family out to an amusement park, and they was all in the station wagon. When they got up to the amusement park. They got to the entrance, and D.L. Hughley finally said, "Look, somebody gonna have to duck down, cause I ain't gonna be paying for every motherfucker." You know, I wanted when it was when things were the way that they were. I had no problem with us going out. I paid for the meal. I paid for the movies. I gave my wife money. She had money. I mean, at the time, baby mama, she had her own money. You know what I mean? But she would use that for like the fun stuff and all that. So every now and then, I would just throw her money just because. You know what I mean? And at the same time, she didn't have to. She paid some of the bills, but she didn't pay. Like she would pay her cell phone bill, and she paid a little bit towards the house bills, but I paid the majority of those because I had the money to do it.
Right.
One of the biggest fights in any relationship is finance. One of the, if not the only, I mean, if you really look at most fights, that's where it is right there. You know what I mean? That's the foundation. Even if you're cheating on somebody, the fact that you're cheating, usually why the other person why that bitch get why that bitch get her hair done and my head is nappy, you know? How come I got a dog skin? Oh man. Hey, I'm gonna end it right here because I forgot this was actually a forum. So I'm gonna end this right here, but I'm gonna call you right back. Let me just end this and then post it.
Okay.
All right. Later. All right, y'all. With that, I hope you like this. I think I'm gonna do this every show. I'm gonna do some kind of forum every show. So I hope you like what you see here because it is gonna happen again. If you want to be involved in the forum, send me your invite. Join me on Google Plus, whatever the case may be, so you can get in on the next discussion. Other than that, later.